All right, what's up everyone? So in today's video training, we're going to talk about mobile AI workflows. And the short of it is we're going to show you the power of connecting PromptForm workflow automation apps to your iPhone. This could probably be done on an Android, but I don't have an Android. So I'm only going to speak today to an iPhone. All right, let's talk about kind of what they are and kind of why you would want to do this. It's pretty obvious. If you could access AI on the go, would that be a good thing or a bad thing? And the obvious answer is that it's super powerful to be able to access AI anywhere. You can capture ideas or input or whatever it is in the moment while you are there instead of having to hold it till you get back to your desktop. The other cool thing about this that I didn't mention on here is that is with the iPhone, it has you can natively integrate it into your menus. You can use the apps that are on your iPhone. We're going to talk about an app that I've created kind of as a demo app to show you how it takes an input and actually saves it to my Apple Notes. So the opportunity for you is that you can actually charge to set these mobile workflows up for your clients. So this would be a cool add-on feature, or you can sell it straight up outright, depending on who you're selling it to. So imagine you're selling to realtors, and they could go and you built a whole workflow automation that takes an image input, and it just produces this really cool document or something. Or you have you're on the go and you can text an idea and it expands on the idea. Whatever it is, you can apply it to your customer base, and you can create these really cool automations and charge a fee to set it up for them on their phone. And you can have a recurring fee just for access to that workflow. And it's going to make you and your clients more productive by having access to this on your phone. All right, so let's talk about some just use cases before we dive in, and then we're going to go in. I'm going to show you an example app on how to do this. So imagine just being able to talk into your phone, or you hit a button and it pops up with the prompt and you can type it in. So this is a great way to capture ideas that you have, business ideas, really anything that you need to, while you're thinking about it right then, to get it off of your mind and into a workflow, and then be able to take that and expound on it. So for example, I have one set up where I have a song idea, and it takes it and actually writes an entire song for me and puts it in a notes. I have an idea of one that I want to build where I can take a business idea, and it'll take it and it's going to run it through and do research on the idea. It's going to do some market research and traffic research to see what type of market there is for it. It's going to create a business plan for it, and that way all I have to do is just talk about it, and it's just going to expand on all that. But you could even do this for let's say you're going to meet somebody and you wanted to just share the LinkedIn with the AI. It could kick off a workflow and send you back a full report of that person, of a briefing, of just of a summary of the high bullet points that's just easy to read, so you can get up to speed and have some talking points. So there's a ton of stuff you can do with this. You can do this with images, with audio messages. You can even add it to your share menu as well, and I'll show you that here in a second. And you can type text, have a little prompt that comes up and type text. All right, so now let's just go over, I'll show you one that I've created here. I'll bring this here to the middle, and I'm going to scroll over. And this is one here for YouTube. Disregard the name. So what this does is it takes a YouTube video and it reads the transcript and it extracts a business idea and comes up with a business plan. This is more of a demo app, but you could see how this can be used. So I'm going to go to YouTube here, and I'm going to take this video here, and we're going to share it. And I've incorporated this into my share menu. So I go to more, it says Biz Plan from YouTube. Should be able to click this, kick off a workflow up here, and it is just kind of running that in the background. So it should take about 30-45 seconds to go through this process, and hopefully it will have completed the process, and it should kick off or open up or actually create a new Apple Note for me that has the title and all the details of the business plan. So I'll let that do that. But just think about all the different use cases you can do for your clients, the things that they do on a daily basis. What are the apps that they interact with? What are the workflows that they need on the go? So you can see, here's my analysis for your business plan. We have AI voice editing service, customization platform, and you can see that it created a whole detailed doc timeline to get the MVP going. Here's some revenue model, marketing strategy, and so forth. But this is really cool. All right, so now that you've seen how to do it, let's talk about how to set this up for yourself. First thing you'll want to do is actually go into PromptForm, go into the app that you're creating or that you're wanting to send to your mobile device. You're going to enable API access. When you go to your API access, you're going to click on this API area here, and you want to grab your API key, and you'll see that here. This is, in order to do that, you're going to need to select the API key that you want to do. And if you haven't created one, just click Add API Key right here, and it will ask you for your key name and description, and just hit Add Key. And once you do that, your key will show up here, and you will just copy it, and that's what you're going to use to paste into the app. So this right here is important. This area right here, this is what we're going to use to connect to your app. The things that you're going to want to know, just remember that you're dealing with a mobile app, so you want everything to be very easy. So I would typically, if you can, try to limit this to one input. In my case, I just had a YouTube URL that I shared, and it extracted everything and it did all the workflow. You don't have to do that. You can do multiple inputs. Just know that it's going to create a little more complexity when you're creating your shortcut. But just to keep it easy for the user, I try to limit it to as few as output or inputs as I can. All right, so this is the information you're going to need. This is going to be a post request, and we're going to set all this up. I'm going to walk you through it. This is going to be your URL to your app. This is your endpoint. You are going to have authorization. The -H stands for header. When you have these things, you kind of have your header and you have your body area, like your request body, and it's going to be this area here. And then it's going to return this ID. So what happens is it's posting the request. It turns that into a job that it's doing, because it takes a while for it to run through the different prompts depending on how detailed you have it. And that is the job ID. Then you're going to take that and you're going to run it a second API prompt here with the result attached to it, along with your key as well. And then it's going to give you the actual response here. So this is kind of an example of what one looks like. All right, so let's go through this process real quick. So I'm going to go to my Shortcuts app. You can do this on your phone or on your Apple device if you have one of those. I'm doing it on the Apple device just because it's going to be a lot easier to illustrate. I have a starter template over here that I'm going to reference, and we're going to build this from scratch just so you can see. I'm going to start with this one right here because this can change. If I right click on this and I hit show info, it'll actually show me the type of block that I need to add. So this is a get contents of URL. So I will go over here and I'll just search for get contents of URL, and I'll just drag this here. I'm just going to drag these all one by one, and then we'll set them up. This next one is going to be a get item from list. So I'll get item from list. I'm going to drag it on as well. And then this is going to be, I believe, get dictionary value, but let's just check it. Yep, get dictionary value. So I've got those three. Next, we're going to do a wait. So wait's just going to depend on how long your app takes to run. I try to give it a little buffer just in case it takes longer. So in this case, we're just going to add a wait option, and we'll set that up later. This is going to be another get contents of URL. And these are what we use to kind of hit our different endpoints. We're basically giving it the API endpoint here. So get contents URL, pop this in. And then we're going to, in this case, after we get our response, I'm going to want to send it to a note. So I think this one was create note with, create note. So now let's go through the process of setting this up. So the first thing we have is we have this get contents of URL. So this is going to be our API endpoint. So this is where we would go over and we would select our API endpoint here. So in your case, you're going to have to look at your app because you can see that it uses the app ID at the top, but it has a slightly different format for how to post to that. So you're going to grab that and you're going to come over, and in this area, I'm going to go ahead and hit show more. I'm going to change the method to post. It's going to ask for my headers and my request body. First thing I want to do is actually paste in the URL right here. So I'll paste that in. I'm going to go to my header value. I'm going to add in a key authorization. You can see -H, this is a header. Authorization. Then I'm going to type in the value area, I'm going to type in the word bearer. It's called a bearer token with a space. I'm going to go back over, and then whatever my key displays, I'm going to paste that in right here. In this case, obviously don't paste in -API key. You would actually paste in a numerical value. It looks similar to, I don't think I have it here, but it would look similar to like a S. Oh yeah, I do have an example here, I think. Here it is. Like, this is not a real value, but SK underscore, and then it would be like a string of letters. I just typed in a bunch of stuff here. After you do that, go to your next line. We're going to add another header, hitting the plus symbol, and we are going to add a content type. Here we're going to type in application/JSON. You can also just copy and paste this. You can see this next header is a content type. Don't type in the little colons, leave those out, and you can just copy and paste this application.json there. All right, so now we are going to put in our request body. And you can see how I've set it up here. I have request body. I just hit, in my case, I was just using the input number 1 because I only have one input. If I go back to my inputs, I have this one input, and it's called input number 1. So this is whatever input you are going to use, you're going to put that in the request body. If you have multiple inputs, then you're going to want to put every one that you want accessed from the mobile device. So we're going to keep it simple, and we're just going to go key. We're going to put input #1. This is going to be a text value in this case. And then the value is going to, this is where the user is going to put in the value. So it depends on how you want the user to input this. In my case, I had it from the clipboard, from the share sheet. So you could see it's receiving the URL and apps input from the share sheet, and it's going to insert that value here, which is really from, text. So if I got rid of that and I clicked on this, receive, if there's no input, continue. I can say, I can get the clipboard here. Oh, there we go, insert variable. I was like, where is it? So if I click inside of this, and I right click, this is where I can determine, is it going to be from the clipboard? Is it going to be from something else? So in this case, I'm going to leave it blank until we decide what that is. So we'll come back to this. All right, the next thing I'm going to do, we're using this item here that's get item from list. And this is just kind of the shortcuts way to access. So this is going to return a response. So if we go back over here and we hit API, it's going to return something like this. So we want to get the response, or we want to get just this value right here from the response. So how do we do that? We are going to get the first item. You can see that this is kind of our mold over here from the result ID. So if I click on this right here, we need to change this to text, and I actually just need to clear this all, clear that away. And I'm going to select variable here, and I need to get the result ID, so I can select a magic variable here. Let's see. Let me see how I can do this. Clear contents of URL, select variable, shortcut input, current app, current date, device details, shortcut input, clear. Let me find where I can find this thing here. Select variable. It's going to be here. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's because I named it. I was like, why is it called result ID? So it's going to be the contents of the URL, which is correct. I do need to change this to text. I'm going to get the first item from the text. So the reason is I renamed that result ID like that, and that's why it says that. I was like, that was confusing me. That's basically what it is. Yep, that's it. Yep, that's what happened. Okay. All right, so we're getting the first item, and then, so all this is doing is returning this whole JSON response. And that's basically, JSON is just a type of response. So it returns this, you have two items in it. I need to get the value for the result item. See, this is the result. I need the value. So this is the label. This is the value. I need the value for that. So I'm going to say get value for, I'm going to type in result in item from list, which is fine. You know, that's basically this. I just named it request ID or something like that. So we can name it or just leave it. It doesn't matter. So request ID. Get value for a result there. It's going to be a type. It's going to be text. So that's important that you change that to text. And hopefully I did that there as well. Yep, text. All right, so that should get us the result or the ID. Now, depending on how long it takes, I'm just going to put 45 seconds here just to give us an adequate amount of time to run this. We're going to wait, and that's just going to give it time in the background to do its thing, generate all the, the AI is working in the background. It's going to generate everything. And then from there, we are going to get the contents of the URL. So in order to do that, we're going to go back over to our API, and we are going to run, you can see to get the results, we're going to run this. So I'm just going to copy this URL inside the quotations, and this number right here is just an example result ID. So we're actually going to replace that with the result ID. So I'm actually just going to go all the way up to right after that //. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put in the URL right here. This method is going to be a get method right here because we're getting it. You can see I have that over there. And now we're going to add our header in. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be an authorization header. As you can see here, it just has one header with the API key. You're going to do the same thing. Add authorization. And then you're going to type in bearer space. And then you're just going to put your key in here, right? This. Okay. So now that's going to give us a response. Now here's the key. We are going to, you see right here on this side, after this / we need to put in that ID. So this is important here. So I'm going to say insert variable. I'm going to put in the dictionary value, which is this. The dictionary value. Remember, if I right click this, it says get dictionary value. It's getting the dictionary value, which I don't even really know what that means. That's just what it is, from this, basically from this response. So that's the final piece that we need there. So we're going to insert the dictionary value, and then we're going to put a question mark. This indicates a URL parameter. We're going to hit result equals. This is just some PromptForm stuff. And we're going to put the actual prompt number that we need. So I'm going to go show you. You don't put the £sign on this, but you just put prompt. If it's prompt 1, that's just the value you want. Just hit that. If it's 2, if it's 100, just put that there. In this case, it's going to be 1, and I'll show you where I get that from. Let's go back over here. I'm going to go to my prompts. This is what I'm returning the value from. You can see these are in the reverse order. This is actually 2 prompts here. For whatever reason, I switched them up. So I need the value from this. So you are a YouTube, you're analyzing this, and you're going to give me a business plan. And this is what I'm grabbing the value from right here. So I need to put in prompt number. You can see it's number 1 up here. I just put prompt, no £sign, and 1. All right. And from there, it's going to give the contents. I'll show the info. Okay. Everything looks good there. And I am going to create a note with the contents of the URL. So I could go and let's see, I don't know if you can change the name of this or not. I guess I can give it a name if I wanted to. I can say prompt result, and you can say now it's going to create a note with the prompt result. I need to make sure that this is a file type of text. This is text. I'm kind of just making sure all of this looks good. This is a dictionary value. Okay, should be good. I can even change this if I want to change the name to result ID or something like that if I wanted to. Which is, that might get a little confusing with that, but that's okay. We know what it is. All right, so now we're going to create a note with this result in it, and it should just be that result from the prompt. And we're going to put it in, and we just choose the folder that we want. So in this case, I think it's called business plan, ideas and plans. So to go right there in mine. And now we have should be a working shortcut. And so that's the whole process. So obviously you're going to want to test this and make sure that it's returning what you want. In order to test it, you can hit the play button. In this case, the only piece that we are missing is we're not giving it a value yet. So what we need to do, something needs to go before this to tell us how to get the value. So in this case, we're sharing a YouTube URL. So in order to do that, you can do it in 2 ways. One, most likely I'm going to go to my, let's see if I can go to my phone here. I'm going to go to my phone, and I'm going to Let's see. I got to figure out how to like swipe up on here to get out of it. It's hard to do. Okay, there we go. So we're going to go to our phone. We're actually going to go to YouTube and we are going to share it. So you can insert a share sheet in here. The other thing you could say is they're just going to copy the link. If they copy the link, it'll just be a part of the clipboard. All right, so in this case though, let's just go here and let's add something above it. And we're going to hit info and we're going to say show in share sheet. If you do that, it sticks it up here. I can go here and I can limit this to just what it is, which is just text, or URL. It's actually just URLs in this case, but you could do whatever applies to you. I can just remove it from any of this stuff. I don't think you have to do this, but it would just limit it to only giving you URLs. So in that case, I have the URL, and then I can just hit the value, right click, and go insert variable, and it'll be the clipboard. I can even do this. I don't know if it'll actually, that might be it, shortcut input, and I guess it connects it. Don't think I did that last time. I just did it from the clipboard and it seemed to work. So if that doesn't work, the other thing to try is just to go from right click and go, and that's another way to do it as well. A couple other options, just depending on what type of app you have. Let me just get rid of the share sheet here. You can use quick actions like Finder, Services menu, Provide output. I haven't tried those yet. You can even do it from your Apple Watch. So those are some interesting things there. You could do a keyboard shortcut, which is really cool. Again, some of this applies to the Mac versus the iPhone. What we're going to do is go back to our Actions menu, and we're going to say text, I believe. So I can say get text from input. So if I add this here, it'll have a little box that pops up. So in this case, I'm just going to let it pop up, and we'll try it here in a second. I think this is what we want right here. I'm going to try that. But then in that case, I would go here and I would delete this, clear, and then I would put in the text. Now it's going to connect these two. Now when I run it, it should stop and ask me. I'll say allow. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Let me try that again. So is it get text from input? It may be here. Let me see if I have. Let me go to my shortcuts here. All shortcuts. All right, here we go. I have one that I did for make a song that uses this, and it's going to be ask. Okay, it's ask for text. So that's what we want. So let's try that. So we're going to go to get rid of that, and we're going to go ask for input right here. I'm going to drag that there. We're going to ask for text with the prompt of like share your idea. And then when we do this, go here, ask for input. And that's how it connects it right there. So now when I play it, it's going to ask an input, and I would just share it and hit done, and it would go through the rest of it. So that is how you set up your own shortcut. So you can do all types of different things. So you could play with your different input types. You can do ask for a number, URL, date, time, etc. I haven't tried images yet, but I'm sure there's some like photo, take photo, which is interesting. So if I wanted to add a photo here, I could take the photo and then I could input the actual file itself. This is going to be interesting. I've never done this before, but theoretically I could actually put the photo here and image. It's going to get the image. I would say, oh, it is a screenshot. That's cool. File model. I would have to play around with it to see exactly what I would need. I guess you could pass the full image there. The file path probably is what it would be, and put that there. But I don't know for sure. I haven't played around with that yet. So that's an idea. You might could even do take video. Let me see. Take screenshot, which is cool. Take video. So all these are pretty cool that you could integrate it in there. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. If we go back here, there are tons of opportunities. I've only scratched the surface of what you can do with these things. But the key thing is to know that PromptForm is accessible via the API in a bunch of different ways. And using your mobile phone for you or your clients can either make you more productive or make you more money. And it's a great opportunity. So I challenge you to sit down and brainstorm how you could incorporate this into your business, and to practice setting one of these up. Follow the instructions here, and you'll be set up in no time. You'll have your first AI workflow on your phone, and it should just open up all sorts of ideas and ways that you can monetize this or become more productive. All right, that's it for me. Stay tuned for more videos on how to use PromptForm. All right, thanks.